Hi everybody, it's Lynnea for ThermOWeb, and this week we are collaborating with Newton's Nook Designs. So I grabbed some of the new stamps from their release, the Fall Fringe and the Pumpkin Latte stamp sets, and I'm going to use it with a stencil from last year, the Pumpkin Patch stencil. I love this stencil. It's so adorable. Pumpkins are my favorite part of fall, even though I don't like the taste of like pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice. I love pumpkins as decorations, and I love that, to me, they just feel like fall, what it's supposed to be. So I sprayed the back of that pumpkin patch stencil with pixie spray, let it dry for, like a minute, and then I added a card front onto that stencil. Now this is a larger card. This piece that I'm working on now is 5 by 5, and I wanted it to be large because I'm going to be using the Fall Fringe stamp as my focal point, and so I wanted this stencil to be able to show through and around that large stamp. So I decided to just create a weird sized card. So the finished card is about 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So I just used the Pumpkin Spice Glitz glitter gel from Gina K Designs, and this is one of the new limited edition colors. So make sure that you pick yours up, because when I peel the stencil off, like, look how pretty that is. It's a deep orange color. It almost has like an orangey brown. It's so pretty, perfect for fall. So I just used my stencil pal to add that Pumpkin Spice Glitz glitter gel all over that stencil, and then I'm going to set that aside to dry while I do my coloring. And for me, these images are a lot of coloring. I'm not good at coloring, and I'm very slow. So by the time I had finished coloring these images, my background was dry. Usually when I use pastes and gels on my cards, I have to kind of wait a while to finish my card, but for this, because it took me so long to color, I actually had my card background dry and ready to go, and I completed the card all in one sitting. So like I said, I'm slow to color, so I didn't leave in all of the coloring, but I tried my best to leave in the main portion. So like, I'm gonna color this one pumpkin on camera, and then I'll turn off my camera and color the rest of them, and so on and so forth like that. So for my coloring, I'm using Copic markers today. I have YR07, YR04, and YR02 for the orange pumpkins. I started with my lightest color, and I left a highlight in the middle just because I love the way these three colors blend, but I wanted there to be a highlight in the middle so it would be like a shine. And then I used my darkest color, blended that out with my medium, and then all over again with the lightest. So everybody thinks of pumpkins as orange, but actually my favorite pumpkins are the white pumpkins. So I wanted to make about a third of these pumpkins in this Fall Fringe stamp set be the white pumpkin. So I'm using W2 and W0 to create like a dirty white, like off-white color for these pumpkins. And they ended up being my favorite part of this whole card, was those little pops of that white. For the pumpkin stems, I'm using E79 and E74, and I'm coloring all of the pumpkin stems with this color blend. So what I do when I'm coloring multiple images like that, especially when they're small, is I just go and I color 3 or 4 of them at the same time, and it really saves me a lot of time. So same thing, I'm just starting with my light color, adding some dark, and then blending out with my light again. And you're going to see me here do that same kind of technique where these little sprigs that are popping out, I'm going to have them be green. So I'm going to do all 4 of them with my darkest color, and then I can blend out with my lighter color, and I will do all 4 of them at the same time. And it just really, to me, it makes it go quicker rather than doing one at a time, where I would color with the dark, put the dark down, pick up with the light, put the light down, and then move on like that. So for my card base, I originally started out with a 5 1/2 by 5 1/2 inch card. So I have one piece of cardstock that is the 5 1/2 inches square, and this piece here is 5 1/2 inches by like 6 1/4 inches. So I scored that at the 5 1/2 inch, and then I added some double-sided tape, and I can just add that 5 1/2 inch square piece right on top, and that will create a hinge for me and create an oversized card. I glued on my pumpkin patch stencil piece, and that's when I trimmed this down to be 5¼ inches square because there was too much excess stuff, like the white border was too much for me. So I glued that on, and now I'm gluing on this fall fringe piece, and I am using the Ultra Bond liquid adhesive from iCraft because I want to make sure that that is going to adhere really well to the Glitz glitter gel in the background because that Glitz has some grit to it. I'm using that Ultra Bond liquid adhesive because I know that's going to hold really well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and adhere the rest of my pieces. I did stamp the sentiment, which is from the pumpkin latte stamp set, as well as I cut out that girl with the pumpkins. And then I have that extra little pumpkin that I'm going to put down by her feet. I added the sentiment strip and the pumpkin with the iCraft liquid adhesive. And then for the girl image, I am using iCraft 3D foam squares to add her to the front of my card. And this is finished product. I hope that you love it as much as I do. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!